Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the perfect 2016 World Team Table Tennis Championships in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I'm Adam Bobrow, and with me, Michael Anderson. How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing excellent. I kind of rushed up here this afternoon, but there was some exciting table tennis in the second hall, so I just had to watch a few matches.
Well, that's definitely one of the beauties of this tournament. In the first hall or the second hall, you can find excitement on all tables, even some world-class players in the second hall. Quadri Aruna, Omar Assar, you've got Hugo Calderano, to name just a few.
You know, level is better than people think and expect, so there's a lot of exciting matches actually going on now in the knockout stage. But on screen we have another, can we call it beauty, but it's really a fantastic matchup, interesting matchup, I would say.
Yeah, I think beauty works fine. I think this is going to be a very exciting showdown here. Anytime you're watching Team Korea DPR play, especially on the women's side, it's exciting. These three women right here played against the Chinese in Dubai at the World Team Cup at the beginning of 2015, about a year ago. And it was a very exciting match. There were some 5 gamers, 11-9 in the 5th for the first match. But this matchup here, Feng Tianwei in the first spot versus Kim Song-yi. You know, Feng Tianwei, she was the Ask a Pro Anything Player of the Week this week. Had a chance to interview her. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Type in Ask a Pro Anything Feng Tianwei on the official ITTF YouTube channel. You'll get a chance to not only see her personality, but learn that she has plans to stay in the game for a long time, Michael.
That's interesting. She has been a little bit up and down in form at times in the bigger championships, but of course what you like with her is the level of talent. She has that versatile game that and she can adjust, especially when she's in good form. Sometimes, of course, lately perhaps she's been struggling a bit with her game, but overall it's such a talented player still with a lot of development, although age is 29 now, but you can still watch for that consistency to happen maybe in the next few years, and why not in an Olympic year?
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, she did have an interesting start to the year, winning the Asian Cup. Lucia won and a few others from the Chinese national team falling at her hands. But her opponent right now, Kim Song-yi, world rank number 89, only 21 years old. And the fans here supporting Korea DPR, North Korea to many of you, are quite vocal, quite excited because their players really excel out here. And it's not too many tournaments you get to see them play.
No, but I've seen this Kim Song-yi actually enter into the international competition in Youth Olympic Games in Singapore, where she suddenly showed up on a training camp and interacted with everybody. And that tournament, Singapore Youth Olympic Games 2010, she played absolutely fantastic. And what a treat to see her here, because she's such a smooth defender with a look for variation, look for the touch and so on. Absolutely, I would call her one of the best defenders on the women's side overall. So that's my call this afternoon.
You know, despite beating, I guess, Feng Tianwei continued her record to go 10-0 was at Li Jie from Netherlands. But she has a lot of trouble against defenders in general.
Yeah, of course, I exaggerated. The best defender in the world on the women's side. There are many, many good, but I just want to point out that she has the technique, she has the touch and so on. Give her some international exposure in tough matches like this one, and you will see her excel. 89 on the world ranking, that's almost a joke to me.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I think this is sort of the case of lack of exposure, as you mentioned. You know, you'll see some strong Chinese players come into a tournament ranked 96 and steamroll through players in the top 20. Similar situation here with Korea DPR.
Of course, you never know how they develop their defense with what she showed 2010. You know, that unbelievable also ability to attack and so on. Of course, the defender mainly defends, of course. That's the style of play, but also the versatile attacks. It's something to look out for.
I feel like the Korea DPR team, it's still, we're getting later in the tournament, still a long ways to go, but they could be a contender to be playing in the finals here.
remember, normally also if you come in with a little bit less international experience, you get the group stage in and so on. You can actually build on your experience internationally within the tournament, which is interesting. So you can get better and better, and hopefully, it seems like, as you indicate, that they are on a roll here.
Thinking about how much footage out there is to study before a match. I mean, at Feng Tianwei, you've got an endless library of footage on YouTube or ittf.com/ittv, shameless plug. But the other way around, not quite the same.
Can you believe it? Also, I had her on an ITTF Global Junior Scholarship even 1 year, where we brought her to Europe for training and play some competition and so on. So there's an attachment, you can feel that, to Kim Song-yi.
Yeah. And I know that you have the father figure relationship with several players taking on the Ja family, Prachi and Kunuk, and now Kim Song-yi. It's a happy family of 3. I guess you is the 4th.
Yeah, we have to bring that up for discussion. That's getting crowded in the apartment in Sweden.
Right now, your adopted daughter's playing quite well out here. Kim Song-yi, very consistent in her variation of placement, too. Looks to me, it's tough to tell. I mean, I don't know. Do you know if she's using long pips on the backhand?
I couldn't tell actually, but what she's using though is a fantastic fantasy in her defense. Actually, touching the ball very nicely and a lot of variation all the time in service, and also you gotta like her touch close to the table sometimes. The defender may step back and be very consistent from the backcourt, but you have to look for feeling over the table and in those kind of touch moments.
And the surprising thing about that rally is when she was moving every single time under pressure, she made the shot, but when she had a little bit more time to stand still, that was the one that she missed. I guess breaking the pattern successful for Feng Tianwei. Excellent shot, the wide angle to bring her out, touch it softly to bring her back in. That ball probably would have bounced a second time on the table. How fast her feet are.
Obviously, a couple of more stronger points by Feng Tianwei, more clear in her tactics there. And execution was better, so well played by her.
Right into the body, that's some power. Feng Tianwei not known for her power, but against defenders, I've seen it a few times. I think when she beat Li Jie, it was that shot right down the middle. Really just reads the ball so well. That's a skill that doesn't tend to fade. It's a big point. Feng Tianwei had started her comeback, was way down in this game.
Don't you like that service selection also? I mean, quite suddenly doing that serve for the first time in the crucial time, so good decision making.
I agree with you, Michael. I think the element of surprise out here, playing boldly, pulling out some risks at the time. Middle, Feng Tianwei is really just zeroed in on that crossover point. Second half of this game, she'd scored probably about 3 or 4 points with it.
and found her placement on the table for her service also. Short forehand all the time, challenging with different spin all the time. And then, of course, you get good balls to work on. You go right to the mid, no hesitation.
So difficult to read. Feng Tianwei's had some trouble with the backhand serves. And as you mentioned, variation on placement as well. Game point for Kim Sung-hee. Outstanding play from Feng Tianwei to tie it up. There were a few touch shots in there that really forced Kim Sung-hee to make quick decisions. There's one of them. She had a squatting to the ground shot earlier.
She didn't decide early enough there, back and forth. You see, hesitating a little bit more, almost thought an attack in the beginning, and then, so of course, that was a little bit of a mistake.
Not an easy ball. The ball kicking at the baseline with topspin out away from the net, and Feng Tianwei still able to keep a powerful shot. Not overly powerful, just enough to keep the pressure on and stay in the point. Now game point for Feng Tianwei. Beautiful shot, the counterattack to the short side of the table. So I think we're going to have a lot of surprises out of Kim Sung-hee, especially under pressure to pull off this shot. She's got game point against her.
Hello world. Here
Hello
comes Kim Sung-hee. What a fantastic forehand down the line.
It's a Michael Andersonism, and it's deuce, the second one in game one.
Struggling with that service, short forehand there to get the good contact and knowing what to do. You know, she hesitated just a little bit and then the spin bites and it's get a very difficult or weaker return.
Staying alive. This is an opportunity here for a towel break. But yeah, Feng Tianwei hasn't been able to get two in a row in some time. That was an interesting solution to covering the crossover point. She had a racket head up, gave it back with topspin instead of trying to cross over underneath the ball and chop it back. I think that saved her a little time. She had better positioning to continue in the rally. Kim Sung-hee now with game point.
Let 13-12.
And there it is. Kicking serve into the backhand side. Strong service game and variation by a very narrow margin. Kim Sung-hee takes the lead 1-0 over Feng Tianwei. Game 2 after this.
Second game, Kim to serve, Low ball.
We're back for game two. Feng Tianwei down 0-1. Kim Sung-yi starting with the serve and the lead. Strong retrieve game with the fish on the forehand side, deep on the table. A little bit more than a fish. It looked like a good attack from there. Managed to get a bit of a stroke and add some spin on it. Goodness, Kim Sung-yi floating that one back. Feng Tianwei, she just worked so hard to have that point. This is resilience. Michael, you've seen her play a lot from the juniors. How often do you see her win a point from that far off the table, jumping?
I mean, you see the feeling, and that's what I'm looking for. The feeling, the ability to fish the ball sometimes, and you save it and get it in by touch and so on. So I really, really enjoy watching her play. Actually.
1, 2.
The only thing she may lack is a powerful attack. If she could add that from a technical point of view and like really a forceful attack, then watch out. She's still too soft when she's attacking the few times. But
3, 4.
The cover up.
3, 1.
with pimples, long pimples, pushing the ball over. Also interesting. Look there.
Yeah, very difficult to react to. You could see that Feng Tianwei had no sense of timing against this ball, understandably so. We remember that one point with the high shots from Kim Sung-yi. Feng Tianwei seems to have moved on, doing a good job of resettling, playing the angles. Sometimes you get a little bit shy after missing a wide shot like that early on.
2, 4.
Like her, somehow you like her mental demeanor also. She's getting nodding there. She knew the ball was coming there. I did my best, or some kind of self-talk. I don't know, but that's unbelievable quality to have as well.
There's a forehand attack for you. Just whizzes past. Feng Tianwei not even able to get a racket on it. And that ball wasn't that high when she contacted it. It arced up but kicked out low. It's a very confident attack. Maybe it's something she's been working on when you haven't been training with her, Michael.
She's welcome to Sweden anytime.
I'll be sure to tell her that when I see her later today. The serves. It reminds me a little bit of Seo-Hyo-won with the high toss and then the subtle contact on the backhand. And you're right, she lifts the hand with the ball just a little bit, and it makes it tough to read when she's contacting it if she's coming under, around, or lifting up. So now we've got a timeout for Feng Tianwei. New coach over there for Singapore, Chun Jabin.
What a forehand he had in his lifetime as a player. Unbelievable power on forehand.
Tell us a little bit about him. I think you've been in the game for some time, Michael.
Well, I have to recall my memory also, but he was, of course, the top player, played now, let's see, in mid-90s, early 90s for the Chinese national team. Was a force, an unbelievable forehand topspin, one of the hardest in the world at that time. So, played many tough matches with famous Swedes, Persson, Wallner, etc.
Well, and a question that some people might have is if you're playing for the Chinese national team, at what point, like, you know how some players break out and then they go play for other nations like Feng Tianwei did, as a coach, how does that work as far as, do you know anything about restrictions from coaches or the freedom to leave?
Very little actually but we know that they have plenty of good coaches. So obviously in some situations it really helps the development of table tennis when they get out there and coach other countries.
3-7.
Michael, I found it interesting to hear you talk about the personality of Kim Song-yi coming in as a junior. Tell us a little bit about your experience with her coming in.
It was interesting actually. She came into the kind of ITTF for international systems, played in the Youth Olympic Games 2010, and prior to that competition we had a mandatory training camp where she showed up and was very friendly, speaking a little bit of English, you know, interacting with the other players and so on, and had that youthful, fun attitude that, you know, I think it also reflects in her the way she plays, because she has that, you know, nodding with the head and that touch and so on that makes you explore the game in a sense. Seems like you really like to play table tennis, if I can put it very simple.
Yeah. Outstanding point, just lobbing it down after all of that work. Twiddles the racket, gives some topspin. Killer shots. This is the fun you were talking about, Michael. Creativity, and I feel like defenders in general seem to love the game and the creativity a bit more.
6-8.
But this so far is point of the match for me. Wow, what versatility on defense.
7-8.
But this is still a close one, and at the same time she showed also in that Youth Olympic Games like this fantastic rallies, but then also the youthfulness mentally sometimes, you know, stopping to play a little bit. And so let's see now how she handles this one, 1-0 up. And actually the coach, yeah, timeout. Kind of interesting.
I find it really interesting what you talked about as far as, you know, who Kim Song-yi is, coming in with English and a great sense of humor and training with other players, really taking photos and having fun. You know, some possible misconceptions or maybe even just being one of the privileged players. I think these athletes are all treated as elite citizens. You can see that they're very, very physically fit. They're relatively well adjusted, I would say. In the interactions I've had, they've had a sense of humor. They've been friendly. I think it's something that people, yeah, should have a chance to experience themselves, you know?
There's no doubt in 2010 I thought that she was one of the most marketable players, actually, if you look at it that way, because she had that fun game, she had a fantastic, exciting game. There was some excitement around her every single time she was playing. So that's also the story. These are individual athletes also, and she like that kind of personality. We need more of it in table tennis and this kind of talent level, you know.
Right. I remember in Suzhou, actually, out by the bus on the last day. She's quite charming. She does have a great sense of humor.
8-all.
So tied up at 8 points each in game 2. And the attack is coming through. It's almost like she heard you. Said, Michael, thanks for everything. I'm going to show you that I have this attack. Well played deep into the backhand. And it's really the serve that's setting up that third ball for her. I mean, it's been so effective throughout this match so far.
We like the precision also in that serve. When she goes down, it's a really quality execution. Goes cross, I mean, long cross with that serve, side over spin or short like that. What a shot. People may see that as just a fluke or something, but that was a quality shot with the pimples.
So now 2 game points for Kim Sung-hee. This is timing. Feng Tianwei knows she has to take advantage. A little bit more predictable bounce off the top spin. And rushes it while she's got Kim Sung-hee far from the table. That's really not an easy ball. Feng Tianwei coming around the inside of it. Backhand attack to win with the pips. An amazing backhand shot. And what haven't we seen from Kim Sung-hee so far?
Fantastic table tennis. Feng Tianwei played the last point excellent. In fact, just made a little bit of mistake and paid for it right away.
Well, man, this is getting tough. Getting exciting as well. A 2-0 lead. We'll be back for game 3 just after this. And we are back for game 3 after 2 very exciting game 1 and 2 here. I mean, we had a deuce, 14-12. We had 11-9 in the second. Starting strong in the third. Feng Tianwei, you can see the arm taped up there on the underarm. Had some really tough matches to get here. Was wearing ice most of yesterday. It's pretty tough to recover top of the net and staying right behind it. And the streak is continuing. Mentally, I think we're going to have to see a timeout here soon. But I guess she used it already, didn't she?
She did, and that was a bit of a technical mistake from Feng Tianwei. Sometimes she's varying in her technique or point of contact quite a lot, especially a little under pressure. And I got a feeling that she really needs to hang in there and keep working, because in fact, she's in a very tough journey now to get out of this hole, because the only thing you have to do is just keep working against the defender, and you cause problem for them every single point. you cannot let 3-4 easy mistakes go away, because then you're going to lose the match probably, because
1-4.
they are that steady defense. So.
Yeah, and that's the first point right there for Feng Tianwei. Still playing patiently.
She's an experienced player. She knows that, of course. Does she favor the style necessarily? I'm not sure, but she has, of course, the skills to make it work. And she has that. You go back to your tactics again. Don't deviate from that. You know, go to your short forehand again and work on that. Change a little bit on service. Maybe get the ball up. And we talked about yesterday also. Sometimes you really need to go hard, tough on the first point. Don't just start lifting. You create some confusion on the other side.
Right, get the defender while they're still in at the table. Put the pressure on while they have less time to react. My goodness, Kim Song-Yi's touch, the feeling you talked about, she's been off balance on a few occasions and managed to stay right in the point. I think part of this between reaction time, touch, physical fitness, I mean, even out of position, she just gets right back in.
The interesting part also, Feng Tianwei go a lot to the backhand side right now, and I'm not sure if that is the best tactics, because you see she has a lot of feeling on with the pimples actually. She can do various things, and she does put good spin on the ball. So go back to that, to the middle, which was critical, and definitely Kim Song-Yi's weakness in defense is deep forehand.
There it is, and I think that's what she has to do, is spin it to the forehand first, and then she's going to have a more confident shot down the middle, because against some of these chops, it's just the shortest part of the table. I don't think she has the confidence to make those shots right now.
Even if Kim Song-Yi also is defending, her forehand chops are a little higher, and in my opinion, much easier to read. So she has to go, and there's a good point right there. Strong to the middle as well. So she's apparently listening to us.
Again, it's that high-tech stuff, the earpieces all players are wearing. I think Kim Song-Yi is starting to feel the pressure when she plays a topspin shot from off the table, because Feng Tianwei has made so many points at taking it off the bounce when topspin comes back, trying to keep it a little bit deeper on the table. Tied right back up at 6 points each.
Those mistakes can be costly though, because even if you get that ball over, you know, don't hesitate. If you're going to cut it ball back, then on this level you put it on the table at least.
Oh, just missing with the hooking forehand. There was some side spin on that too, Michael.
That was interesting actually. That choice of attack was a pretty difficult ball to attack on, so maybe you get a feeling also, and you get a feeling perhaps on the other side also that she is rushing it a little bit right now.
Right. Yeah, and that replay they showed before definitely was a low point of contact, especially for a defender to take. The quality of chop is just unbelievable out here. These balls are so low to the net and so much rotation.
But look, she moves over now and cover her middle with backhand all the time. So then you have to move your point of attack even deeper into forehand side. So you exactly find that she's looking almost like she's playing on the white line. But on the other side, there is a very talented player adjusting all the time. So then you have to adjust your position, your technique all the time. It seems like she's not really into the game like that, or confident enough right now. It can change, of course.
And 1 point away from a clean sweep 3-0 of world number 89 against world number 8, Feng Tianwei. Hanging in there, a few big shots almost come back for the point.
The crowd almost carried that ball on.
Yeah, it sounded like it. As far as crowd, look around you for a minute. We've got a lot of Korea DPR jerseys here, a lot of fans, big opportunity to see their favorite players succeeding in the sport. Feng Tianwei to take 2 attacks countered and recover a net ball early on in that point. I mean, this is fierce focus right now.
But this is also sometimes that makes certain players more enjoyable to watch, because you feel the drama all the time. There's technical brilliance, there's touch, and it's just fun to watch. And let's see how Kim Sung-hee can manage it. Goes to the middle with a serve for the first time.
Beautiful chop right on the white of the line, and 3 match points saved for Feng Tianwei. We've got the Singaporean crowd right there, double X supporting. This is the type of match where upsets are always fun and exciting, but you'd love to see this go 5 games. I know I would. Non-stop 4 in a row, and she's really just showing amazing focus with so much pressure against her.
Quality fight back by Feng Tianwei, no doubt about that.
Now game point for Feng Tianwei.
Let 10-11.
Powerful forehand to save it and come right back in. But once again, the combination of that backhand serve, different placement, varied spins. Yeah, the pressure on Feng Tianwei to do something better with that ball on the receive. It's just crucial at this point. So second deuce, Feng Tianwei with their serve. And another match point, Kim Sung-hee. This is her 4th one yet.
Let 12-11.
Smart play, she sees the opportunity while Kim Sung-hee's right at the table and really works to get that shot. I mean, she was near the net on the backhand side, not an easy ball.
Excellent tempo change by Feng Tianwei. It goes hard, it goes soft, drops the ball a little bit in a forehand top spin, and then goes deep. So, textbook against defense.
Now game point again for Feng Tianwei.
And you can see an adjustment in her game here. Now lately from being 7-10 down, and she's played actually very, very high quality against defense.
And this time covering the topspin, playing the angle, takes the game 14-12, a high deuce score, and Feng Tianwei keeps it alive. We'll be back for game 4 to see if she can continue after this.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Chinese Taipei a round of applause. First time. And guess what? This is the second time they've made it to the semifinals. The last time they made it to semifinals was during the World Team Championship in 2000.
16 years ago.
Yes.
Wow. That is phenomenal.
And both times they made it to semifinals here in Kuala Lumpur. Congratulations, Team Chinese Taipei.
Players come back for game 4. Feng Tianwei with an incredible save in the last game. I really think if she can keep this focus and, like you said, Michael, move Kim Song-yi in and out, change up the tempo and the placement, we really have a good match on our hands.
I agree 100%. I think what she showed in the end of the third game is absolutely good enough to win this match, but you have to be consistent, and some of the mistakes in the middle there, almost hesitation and some nervousness almost in creeping into her game. So I think she was quite lucky to get away with that one, but she really raised her level, and that should be encouragement for the Singapore team.
Fiery fight, heavy cut, you got it, Michael. And the placement of the ball coming in still, I mean, this is Feng Tianwei trying to find the middle, so it's not an easy shot for Kim Song-yi.
Look how she identified that. Let her start from the forehand side and then make a deep cut. A lot of defenders sometimes just let them start on the same spot. You don't think too much where the first chop is going to be placed, but she really is giving her all the things in the world almost in terms of quality defense.
Yeah, and that shot right there, ball comes up a little bit high. It looked like caught the edge of the table from Feng Tianwei. And that was that change of pace. You could see Kim Song-yi had to take the ball from nearly the ground as Feng Tianwei slowed it down a little, added more spin.
There you go. Exactly. Slower to the forehand, let her lift the ball and then go hard to middle or go a tough ball to the middle right away. But look also how Kim Song-yi is trying to pin Feng Tianwei to the backhand corner all the time with her chops, because that makes it very difficult for Feng Tianwei to go down the line, because it's a risky shot all the time. So she has to keep it middle or the backhand corner. So it's a kind of a tactical minds are working from both sides at the moment.
And I think it always is in a defensive, whenever there's a chopper on the table, tactics become even more crucial. You just have to be so clever. And it seems like what Kim Song-yi wants to do is what you mentioned, keep Feng Tianwei pinned in the backhand corner because she's so controlled with the pip side of the racket. shot completely fooled me. It looked like she took it a little bit slower, but with the inverted rubber, still got more spin on it than Feng Tianwei saw.
Look at that technical execution there. She just follows through so nicely. It's almost, if you buy a book, textbook, defensive techniques, that was it. You know, you follow through that cut on the ball.
Still the pressure a little bit in on the body. Yeah, I can't believe the racket speed we see from Kim Song-yi. She really cuts under that one. Obviously, she was jammed up, so she couldn't get her textbook stroke in. Sometimes it just seems like a flash, her racket, how fast it's brushing past the ball.
High all.
Attention audience, please, no flash photography allowed during the match. Thank you.
High sis.
I think the fight between these two players, it's quite interesting to see how fiery Kim Song-yi is. There it is again, the second time we've seen the attack from the pip side of the racket. And the way it comes off, I mean, it's just clearly very difficult to control the aggressive play with that. It plays a lot like long pips.
7-5.
The middle, though, Feng Tianwei really working it whenever she gets a little bit of topspin, has more control on that shot.
Moment of hesitation from Kim Song-yi, close to the table. That sets up for an easy point, and Feng Tianwei needs those easy points now to get back into it. She's under pressure.
Hey, sis.
The pressure continues to build as Kim Song-yi extends her lead. That's just too good. Feng Tianwei not showing that she's going to drop it. Very quick motion. And I think the most difficult thing about that is after looping it on the body, looks like she's going to loop again, and just very quickly at the last moment, to not show that you're going to drop it and still have control is an amazingly difficult task. She's 3 for 3 with the backhand attacks.
And that was not a very high stop ball in that case. Very, very low, and actually excellent touch on the highest point of contact.
And 1 point away.
We talked about that shot. It's hard also on a little bit floating shots to go straight down the line, and she was forcing it because she needed to find middle forehand.
And again, a match point saved. This is the score for Feng Tianwei. You like the facial expressions from Kim Song-yi?
I do like that funny face kind of thing, and she's thinking, can I not do this?
Like, right, what is it? Let me pass.
Exactly. You just want one more point, one more point.
Why do I have to wait for you to catch up to 10 as well? And tried twiddling, did you see that? Put the pips on the forehand side of the racket for a receive. Just something to mix it up. It shows some creativity out here. A little bit tougher, though, on the receive with a long serve. And Feng Tianwei has crawled back again 10-10, the nightmare from 10-7, Kim Song-yi. She's gonna hate 10-7 if she doesn't win this match, this game. Caught the back edge of the table. Feng Tianwei with the game point to go to the 5th game.
Can it get any better than this?
Right?
This is drama on the highest
faintest.
level.
My goodness. Highest drama, faintest edge. Game point, Feng Tianwei. Counterattack goes off, and we're going to a 5th and decider. Could Feng Tianwei take it? Could she come all the way back? We're going to have to see. Stay right here for the decider.
Welcome your players and umpires for table 1. We have Korea versus Portugal. From Korea Republic, we have Lee Sang-soo, Ju Se-ryuk, and Jung Yang-sik. From Portugal, we have Joao Monteiro, Marcos Freitas, and Thiago Apollo. Umpires in the match, Greg Yuga and Gregor Meze. Gentlemen, good luck, all best, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the match.
然后你再突然间拿回来，比如说特别狠，来了一下就是这么一咬着它关键时候。不管你说后多少，后面多少，它都有一个尺度，比较咬住的这种。越到关键的时候，你越伤风。加油加油！
First game, Feng to serve, no ball.
And we're exactly where we want to be, Michael. Game 5, the most exciting game of the match. Feng Tianwei winning the last 2 now with the serve. A lot of pressure when the ball's deep on the table to keep it low to the net and on the table. Still some quality shots. Feng Tianwei trying to power through the middle early on in the point. Mistimed, the ball left out in front for the forehand loop.
I would guess your confidence can take a little bit of a hit when you drop 6 match points, or even more than that. Did you keep the count?
Yeah, I think it was 7 total. We had the 10-7 twice.
You see a little bit fist pump there also. What an experienced player against a relatively inexperienced, I would say, international player. So she feels she got something going now that works. She's much more active with her racket, more racket speed when she touches the ball, and more decisive again.
Strong counterattack. Looked like the ball was bending a bit. I think that's one thing, you're right, coming around the outside of the ball, adding that extra bend makes it more unpredictable, difficult to counter or block back. As far as confidence, the confidence seems to be shifting. It's tied up at 3 points each, still early in the game, but late in the match.
Let 3-all.
Well played while she's in at the table, finds the middle again. There's a funny face for you, Michael.
But you look over to the other side. Let's face it. You're on the other side of the table. You look over, you see that face, like it's something. Everything can happen, kind of thing. So you better hang in there to just keep your concentration on your own game, and that's what Feng Tianwei is doing for the moment, I think. Oi, what a shot!
Yeah. Man, completely distracting. Look at this one more time. So low to the net. And it floated. This is the beauty of having contact below the table. The opponent can't see the contact. Has to guess a little bit more as to what's on it.
She is thinking, what just happened?
Right. No idea what hit her. And going that far out to the forehand with the backhand leaves a huge hole cross court to the backhand side. But Kim Song-yi manages to take it. Is the first player to get to 5 points. She's going to have a little momentum as they switch sides of the table. Outstanding play, persistence to the backhand corner. Kim Song-yi had to be expecting to cover the shot to the short side of the table. Feng Tianwei playing with security to the longest part of the table over and over. A little bit of inside out spin on that last ball as well. Recovery chop. After the topspin, it's usually the toughest ball for Kim Song-yi.
Kind of like Feng Tianwei, how she opened with backhand that time also, because that is something that a lot of defenders do not like, the backhand opener. So she can get one of these in, perhaps just to break the pattern of attack and then follow it up. It's usually an effective tactics.
The pressure is just so high that it's tough to be this on for the short shot down the middle of the table.
You see, that's a little mistake. You see the no spin all the way, I think, and she saw it also. Just didn't execute the technique properly. So not happy with that one, and I understand.
Point to recover that edge ball and stay in, but the point goes on. That was just crazy, Michael.
What a fantastic match, actually. This is absolutely one of the best matches so far in this competition.
I don't know the last time I couldn't hold a gasp back while watching a match. Unbelievable match. And again, the early attack catches her while she's still in and backing off, and we're tied up at 7 points each. Huge backhand attack. There it is. She has been non-stop with those pips. I can't think of an attack she's missed since the start of this match when she goes for it.
The fine thing also, perfectly timed over the table and exactly on the highest point of contact. And what a technical, brilliant shot.
No, she earned it. It was wrapped with a bow, had her name on the package. See this one more time. This was a much easier shot than the one before. Right in near the net, stepping around.
With her forehand side, though. Like maybe she should have taken that back again. Let's see if it comes back.
Outstanding play, the timing just right for Feng Tianwei.
And what a good first attack on that point. Really decisive, upper body, forward, drives it to the middle, opens up the whole table for her.
Yeah, she's really forcing Kim Song-yi to run around and be on the chase for the rest of this point. Strong start. This is the foundation early in the point. And again,
the tempo change.
Jinx, look at this. We've got match point for Feng Tianwei. Has saved, what, 7 match points to get here? Down 7-10 in the third and fourth. And now 2 match points of her own. I cannot believe it, Michael. Feng Tianwei, the unthinkable, crawling out of the grave, buried with sand and dirt, filling the coffin, has risen here to put the first match on the board for Singapore. What a performance. The Ask a Pro Anything Player of the Week had absolute laser shark-like focus and a tough match for your adopted daughter, Kim Sung-yi.
What a performance from both sides, though, we have to say. Feng Tianwei really coming through also so strong in those moments. And of course, experience counts in the end. You had the feeling that she gradually got into the game, read the tactics, and also executed well in the fifth and deciding game.
Yeah, absolute respect to both of these players. This is, I've seen some great matches, if not the best. This is definitely one of the best matches that I've seen in the whole week so far. Go back and watch all of this on ITTF.com/ITTV or the highlights on the official YouTube channel. There it is in number form. Wow, Michael. Both of us on our feet for respect. Next match coming up is going to be Yu Meng Yu and Ri Myung Sun. You don't want to miss it. Stay right here.